Greetings, fellow saxophone players. It's good to see you. This is Mr. Jeff here. I certainly hope that your school year is off to a good start. Today I'd like to demonstrate for you the required scales for the Region 29 middle school band that we're going to be having this year. So as you can see, I hope that you have your required scale sheets in front of you. You see that the scales are a little bit different this year than last year. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through each of the scales slow, and then I'll play it up to tempo. And these are the scales. I'm putting it on my alto today, but for all you tenor players, I'm going to also make a recording for you on the tenor saxophone. But right now, this will be for the alto saxophone. If you look at your scale sheet, you'll see that it starts off with concert G, and remember that's in 4 sharps: F, C, G, and D. This year it's only a 1 octave scale. In other years it's been 2 octaves, but it's just 1 octave. I'm just going to play those scales that's for you right now at a nice slow pace, and that's what I recommend that you do as we're learning some of these scales, that we learn them at a slow pace and then we eventually take them a little bit faster. Make sure you have good posture, and make sure that you have a good read and that you tune up first to make sure that you're in tune. This is your concert G, and that'll be we will start on E for all us E flat alto saxophone players. Okay, this will be concert C. This is our second scale on the list, and we've taken away one of the sharps, and so this is F, C, and G sharp, and we'll start on an A, and it's only 1 octave. This is concert F. As you can see that the concert F is 2 octaves. It starts on a D, and the 2 sharps are F and C. Good. So this is concert B flat, the first scale that we learned as saxophone players. So we should be able to get this one sounding really good. Starts on your G, 1 sharp. That's the F sharp. Concert E flat starts on our low C. It's 2 octaves, no sharps, no flats. Good. Concert A flat, 1 flat, B flat, and this starts on your F, your low F, first space F, and this is only 1 octave. 1, 2, Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play all of those scales. What I would say a little bit quicker. Probably some of you know the scales pretty well and you're playing them a little bit faster, and that's good. What I want you to take special notice is that even though we're going faster, that doesn't mean that we make our articulation too short. We don't want it to be too short. We want to have a nice tone on each note so that we can hear each note as it's played. Okay, so we don't want to play a really short staccato or anything. We want it to be kind of more of, as we're articulating, saying da than we are saying ta. Okay, so this is your concert G scale. Starts on your E. This is our first scale. Concert C, 3 sharps, starts on our A. Concert F, 2 octaves, starts on our D and it has 2 sharps. Concert B flat. Concert E flat, 2 octaves, no sharps, no flats. Concert A flat. Ready? Good. Now we're going to talk about the chromatic scale. Some of you already know the chromatic scale full range from low B flat all the way up to your high F. This year, the scale, as you can see, is it starts on a low D, goes up to a high D, and then back down. It's 2 octaves. Now we see that it's written in 6/8. We've talked about 6/8 before, right? That it means that there's 6 beats in a measure, and you can see that the 8th note would get the pulse if that's what we did, if we played it like that. 6/8 also commonly is played in has 2 beats in it. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. And that's kind of how this is grouped. It's grouped in 3 note sequences, and most of the time you students have said, oh, it's grouped in triplets. If you want to think of it like that, that's okay, but you want to be able to have that feel. Da, 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 da. I'm going to play it slower first, and then I will play it the second time up to tempo and a little bit quicker. And I think it's good, especially for all of us, before you play a scale, because this year we're gonna still at this point, because of the way that our situation is here with the virus and stuff. As of this time, we're going to be recording all of our etudes and things like that, and sending them into the judges and stuff, and they will be the ones that will listen to them and determine if you are selected for the band or not. So what we want to do, I think it's appropriate before we start a scale for us to go ahead and play a note to get started, because sometimes starting on a low D or a low C is very, very difficult to do, and to get it to come out without giving a note first. And so that's what I'm going to do each time with this scale. Notice how we can hear the pulse of the da 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 da. Okay, this is the chromatic scale starting on low D. that you were able to hear that pulse there. Now, let's talk about a couple things before I end this video, is that there are a couple of places where we can use some special fingerings. As you see, when we're going to the F to the F sharp, we can use this fingering here, the alternate F sharp key, which really we call kind of the chromatic F sharp key. So we would finger F, and we would use our finger next to our pinky here to open up that F sharp key there. And I think that makes it go a lot better than kind of flip-flopping, okay, through the scale. It would sound more like this. Instead of going, okay, it's much, much smoother that way. There's also another thing that I know that all of you Jefferson Middle School saxophone players, 7th graders, used last year that Miss Fidias taught you, okay, and that was with the alternate C. The alternate C, which I really call it the side C, right? So we finger our B, and then we use our kind of like here, right down here by our knuckle here on our first finger here on our right hand, and we open up of these 3 keys that are on the side. We open up the middle key, and with just kind of like that. Actually, it's a little bit above your knuckle that you would do that. Probably almost maybe towards the middle knuckle, or maybe in between that finger there. So it will kind of sound like this. Most of you are used to playing it that way, and that's fine too. And if you're used to playing it that way, it's probably going to be easier for you. I probably played that a little faster than what I wanted to there, so I'm going to do it again a little slower, and then I'm going to play it faster for you. I thought I was going to get that all in one breath, but I couldn't do it. But I'm going to get this all in one breath. I'm going to play it a little bit faster now. Okay, this is our chromatic scale. One of the things that I also encourage you to do is learn these scales with the metronome. When you finally are able to get all of the fingers down and you feel comfortable with the notes, get it to the metronome as soon as possible. Our metronome in our brain sometimes deceives us, and until you actually listen to a recording of yourself or something, you won't be able to know whether if you're going a little bit faster or slower. Most of the time we have a tendency to drag and slow down. So put these to the metronome as soon as you possibly can. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me or ask any of your band directors, Ms. Dominguez, Ms. Calderon, Ms. Fidias, and they will certainly be able to help you with any of those things. And remember, good posture, good start, good air. Make sure that we take in enough air. We have to start out with a good breath and a good start with especially with our articulation. And make sure we have good reeds. You know, some of you I've talked to in band camp this summer, I found out that you were still using some reeds way back from February and March. I think it's time to throw them away and get some new reeds so that we can demonstrate our best always in our sound and our tone, okay? And then we make sure we have our good posture and get started, and we'll be in good shape. So I hope this was a help to you, and I'm going to post some other videos that have the unison and the fast etude on. So okay, take care. Bye for now.